What's up, everyone? We have some new energy coming up in 2023, March. And it's going to come in and out for the year of 2023. I'm talking astrology here. And Pluto is about to make a shift into another sign. And this is a big deal. This is going to it's going to change a lot of things. And it's going to change things on a world level. And of course, it's going to change things on a trickle down level. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk a little bit about astrology and my own past experiences with these Pluto transits, what I learned from them, and even like predictions on how the Pluto transit is going to affect the upcoming future. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. So what's about to happen 2023, the planet Pluto is about to go into the sign Aquarius. And this is a big deal because the planet Pluto, it rarely, the time frames are very far and in between for the time periods of how long it takes for Pluto to go through a sign, because Pluto is a planet it's in the back of the solar system. It takes about from 14 to 22 years to complete going all the way through one sign. And the reason why it fluctuates like that, the transition period, is because some signs are bigger than others, and also because of retrograde. Because based on the point of view of the Earth, planets don't just go in a straight line. Sometimes they go backwards, which is called retrograde. They don't really go backwards. It's just from our point of view on the Earth, it looks and it seems like the planet's going backwards, which has effects on us here on Earth also. Everything that happens in the sky, it affects here. Everything is unified. It's all one thing happening together. Everything affects everything. My words that I speak now are affecting someone that's all the way across the world who don't even hear my words. So everything affects everything. But so it's gonna go inside of Aquarius for a few months, March, April, May, June, I think, and then at the end of the year, and then it's gonna stay more permanently in Aquarius around 2024. I'm not sure if it'll go retrograde again and go back into Capricorn again in 2024, but around that time it's going to be more permanent, and the energy is going to be in full effect around that time. So what does this mean? How is this energy going to affect us? How will you know it's affecting you? What does it feel like? What is it like? Well, I'm going to draw from personal experiences and also draw from knowledge that I've learned about this. Now, first of all, let's start with Pluto. What type of energy does Pluto provide? The Plutonian energy is always here. It never goes away. It just, right now it's changing a sign. So it's about to change form, and it's going to affect different aspects of life and different aspects of your psyche and your consciousness. So, it's gonna be a huge mental shift. Now, Pluto, the energy of Pluto, it's very, very, very psychological. So whatever deep psychological stuff that's in the back of your mind is lying dormant, or for whatever reason, it may be dormant because you feel that it's safer that it stays there, or it's not time for it to come out because the conditions aren't right. It's something scary that you don't want out. Things like that. It's really powerful, uh, dark forces. When I say dark, it has not come to light. So you can say that it's dark in that way, and coming to light is of course here where we can see it, and it's very, very powerful. Once it comes out, it's transformational. Everything it touches, when that light touches the dark, nothing will ever be the same again. in respect to whatever it changed. So, Pluto is a very, very powerful planet, and this can bring out like gifts that you have, or even things that you think are gifts, but other people may not think are gifts. It brings out parts of you that are really suppressed, things that you keep inside, and you just have to. So it brings those aspects of us out. So it's a really, really, really powerful thing. And it's going to go into the sign of Aquarius. And in order to see what type of uncovering or purging out of the powerful energy and dormant psychological factors within us for Aquarius, you need to know what Aquarius is. But before we talk about Aquarius, I'm going to make predictions about Aquarius with the Pluto transit. They're not going to be great predictions, just what I think based on my limited knowledge. But right now, the planet Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, and it's been in the sign of Capricorn ever since 2008. So think back to 2008. What really shifted around 2008 for you in your life? Now, on a world level, a lot of things happened when the shift happened with Pluto in Capricorn. Now, in order for us to understand that, what is Capricorn all about? Capricorn's all about power, power struggles, us trying to get power in this world, and all the things that come with power. So it's really, really big thing here. So when you talk about power, you're talking about governments, you're talking about the really, really rich people, big tech who controls the information, and they're really, really rich. You talk about governments and politics, and everyone trying to make it to the top for whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish in life. And Capricorn represents those types of things, among other things. So in that time period for Capricorn, when Pluto moved into Capricorn, what the first thing that came to the attention of the world, particularly in the United States, was there was a financial crash, and I'm pretty sure that affected the world just like it affected the U.S. because everything's joined together. But yeah, money was tight in 2008. Jobs were tight. Everything just kind of crashed and got stuck around 2008, and that's money's a big power thing. And then the very next year, cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency thing was born, and there's a transformation in money and people trying to move the power in other places or maintain their power. Part of the reason why Bitcoin was born was to preserve power, because they realized by putting trust in the banks, you don't have full power over your assets. So someone invented that to give the people power, or give themselves more power. And also during this time period up till now, we've countries have been wrestling around for power. China and Hong Kong, that they've been wrestling with power. China wants Hong Kong to make their empire greater, or whatever, for whatever reason. And the war in the Ukraine, uh, Russia wants to go back to their former glory, whatever that was. And everyone's wrestling around for power and trying to get power, and the big tech and trying to control the people, even controlling political um, political outcomes. And of course, they're really, really rich. They have what we learned. They have more power than actual political parties and actual governments, and they showed that. So everyone's wrestling around for power during this time period. And the you know what that happened in 2020, that made a lot of people and a lot of corporations scramble around for power, trying to exploit the situation, trying to politicize the situation, and they use it as an opportunity to get power, not actually help people. I mean, some people were helping people, but a lot of people just really exploited that situation. So, and also we've, particularly in the United States, it's what I know. I don't know about other countries that well. Um, we had politicians, that unlikely politicians that just kind of pop up, new power, and that type of thing. So this time period was a great example of what plutonian power can can aggravate and make bigger and make explode, emphasize. So that's what happened during the Pluto and Capricorn period, which is still going on now, but the transition, the shift is about to happen officially around March next year, but it's going to go in and out. 2024 is going to be more permanent. Now, that's how it affected the world at large, but each of us have a individual effect of how this affects us individually, how it trickles down from the world level. And I'll give you an illustration of how this trickles down to the real world level by sharing my own experience, my some of my story about how this works. So during the time of Pluto and Capricorn, I had Capricorn is in my 12th house in astrology. So, if you pull up your astrology data and you come up with your astrology wheel, you have the signs all the way around on the outside, but depending on when you were born, the wheel may be turned whatever way. So the signs will be in different houses. And there's 12 houses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12. So the first house is like the beginning, the start, the spark, the flame, and everything physical, live. The 12th is kind of everything fizzling down, ending, and it's very, very psychological. It's kind of the reboot. It's like the computer got all the lessons, and now it's time to reboot and start over and get rid of everything that's unusable, and just get ready to start over. So it's very much a time for endings. So during that time, I had Pluto transforming my 12th house, because Capricorn is the first sign in my 12th house. I have Capricorn and Aquarius in my 12th house, but the first sign, they say you go by the first sign. What the first sign is in the house. That's what rules the house. So for me, there was a huge, powerful Plutonian influence on my 12th house. And what's the 12th house? What does it consist of? What part of life is the 12th house? 12th house is a very, very psychological type of house. So it's like psychological, it's spiritual, it's all those things that you can create in your mind, or you can envision that life is. So 12th house is a very psychological house, like psychological house. Some people say it's spiritual, but some people argue that spirituality is mental, or vice. They're joined together closely. It's hard to pin down exactly one from another. So it's also a place of it's isolation, because it's a consolidation period. You're consolidating all those 11 lessons that you got all through the zodiac, and even 12 houses is a lesson itself. It's also the endings, things ending, and it's again it's a house of conclusion. You could find yourself you could find yourself just somewhere by yourself, alone. So you could easily 12 house experiences can be a hospital where you're you're in a hospital room thinking about whatever happened. Prison, a place of deep reflection, mental institution, trying to get your sanity together, and retreats. And yeah, a lot of it's also hidden enemies also. So it has a lot of things that are associated with it, with the 12th house. So how did this affect me? That's what I've been dealing with. That's what's been transforming in my life over the past 14 years, because it's been ever since 2008 up until now. It's like a 14-year transit, and it's about to change signs. So it's been a pretty short one, it being in Capricorn. So how has this affected me? Well, Pluto is a planet that is associated with crises. Crises can very much happen. Usually, a crisis, they could very much happen, because usually it takes a crisis to happen for everything to. You have to demolish a building and take the building down in order to rebuild the building. Pluto's about tearing down a building and starting all the way from scratch. Nothing's going to be the same. It's going to be completely different, that area in your life. And, just one area in your life, but it's going to completely change you, even though it's one area in your life. But the 12th house, it's really profound, because 12th house it's also just, it's endings itself. So it's going to really, really have a tearing down effect on a person and their life. So around 2008, what was going on with me was I started a professional boxing career in 2008, and I have been working on that ever over that whole decade. And I felt that I was ready for it. I started off with a nice spark, a nice flame, and around the same time, I got like a chronic illness during that time. And over like a year and a half, all the way up, over a year and a half, even longer, like a year and a half, 2 or 3 years later, actually. The year and a half was the most important, because that's the time frame that I did professional boxing. I was a professional for about 2 years. I was an amateur for like 6 years prior to it. And that was a horrible time for me to have chronic illnesses. When I was before, prior to that, I'm really, really freakishly strong. And I built all that up from, dedication, hard work. And somehow I continued, I kept winning, and my illnesses would kind of come and go. And sometimes I would win. At first I was winning really, really impressively, and then then later I was winning just on will, even though I was in horrible condition. Just couldn't. I went to doctors, and I got a bunch of different medical opinions on what was going on with me. Some of them said it was psychological, but and it's like I couldn't. I had trouble digesting food. Even at one point, I got really, really inflamed stomach. It's everything's got real crazy during that time, and I ended up getting hurt really badly. I did my last fight. I did 11 fights. And my last fight, I got hurt really badly, because I continued on doing it because I felt that I had to, because I put all that hard work in, and now my body's rebelling against me. So it was kind of one of those things where it was a tough decision to make. And I got hurt really, really badly. I got a really, really bad concussion, and I did my last fight, and I transferred. I went back home to Atlanta, Georgia, from where I fought. I fought in Chicago, and during that time, for 2 weeks I just stayed home and just I had a concussion, just was out of it, just felt like crap. And I just, for 2 weeks, I thought about everything. And as I thought about everything, I had really just removed that dream from my mind. So I was able to just really focus on everything, focus on my life, focus on myself, and think about how I felt. And I realized that I didn't have any like real friends. I realized that um, that I had some bad habits that I wasn't fixing. I had mental health issues that I wasn't fixing. I realized that I was a mess, and I was not paying attention to it because I was just focusing on just those external goals, push, 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 go, 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 just trying to achieve those dreams, and not just fighting. I was also a student, which even that I should have chose one. I should have chose either the fighting or education and a career. But I was trying to do everything all at one time, and it all came crumbling down at that point. And I at that point, from 2 weeks of just in deep reflection, I decided that I no longer wanted to be in my country anymore, and I felt that it was too impure for me. I was becoming something that I was not. I was in an area where there's lots of pretentious people. I was becoming one of those pretentious people. Uh, I was just it was I just the person that I was just was not me. It was totally not me. It wasn't the person that I was. It wasn't the person I wanted to become. And I just felt that the only way I could be the person that I wanted to be or needed to be is that I had to just completely change my environment. You can't change. It's hard to change yourself when everything else around you is still the same. Sometimes that environment, is so so I just started researching jobs, any type of job that I felt that I could do that was abroad, and go get a different perspective on life, and trying to kind of relearn things and even heal from my injuries. My injuries were really horrible, concussion, that really bad concussion, and I ended up finding a job two months later, and the timing was perfect. I had just graduated college, and the timing was perfect, and I it was hard to get a job because the interviews, because focusing issues, the concussion, and I got a job 2011, early 2011, and I went abroad, and I've been abroad in Asia, various countries throughout Asia, mostly South Korea, for ever since 2011. And all what I'm telling you is all this stuff is 12th house stuff. I had a crisis first, and then I moved abroad. And abroad, even though I'm around people, I have friends, lots of friends. Sometimes I'm still alone because uh, you know even if I'm around a lot of people and I can't understand them, you're still alone. And I for that time period, I use it as recovery. I was trying to recover myself. I felt that it was therapy, and also during that time, I got really caught up in esoteric knowledge and learning. Any book, anything that I could find that was esoteric, I was reading it. I was trying to find all those backside truths about life, about the fabric of reality that are very hard to see, the things that aren't directly in front of us, or aren't it can't directly be heard, basically the unseen. So anything that was unseen, that seemed to have any type of validity to it, I was reading it. I was trying to learn about it, got extremely interested in that. And what I thought was going to be in the very beginning of living abroad, I thought it was going to be just a bunch of seclusion, but I ended up making a lot of friends initially, and I just kept quite popular initially, and actually that it stayed that way for the first portion of that time frame, and I lived out a lot of dreams, did a lot of things that I wanted to do, meet people, connect with people, bond, have relationships with people that are totally different from me, girlfriends. It's really really interesting the way it played out. And around the second half of all of this, it kind of everything kind of fizzled. Now I'm in that isolation type of situation that I wanted to be in initially. Initially, it didn't work out like it's working out now. Or like now, this is what I want to do. I want to be in the quiet, rural countryside, learning the foreign language, taking care of my health, nursing my health, and just filling my mind with knowledge, and just doing that type of thing. That's what I wanted to do initially, but I didn't do it. I just kind of went a little crazy, and also the concussion. Then it made me just go with it. I just really enjoyed myself in the first half of it. But yeah, so that's 12th house stuff. Yeah, isolation, mental health, a crisis, uh, lots of deep thinking, uncovering mysteries of life, that type of thing. And Pluto itself is about uncovering mysteries of life. It's the underworld. So, and 12 houses is kind of the background. So the underworld in the background type of thing. And also, I learned a lot of things that were hidden from me. That were secret, because I'm in a foreign country, and and then it totally changed my perspective on America, and how great I felt it was, or how bad I felt it was. In some respects, the things that I thought were bad are now good, and some of the things I thought were good are now bad. It really flip flop my perspective. And I learned that everyone has their own programming, their own brainwashing. And then you go see like how people are so brainwashed in America, by going to another country and see how brainwashed they are from the propaganda of their societies and their governments. And then you go see this over and over in different countries, and you realize it's just pure programming. And at this point, I want my mind and my programming to myself. I want full control of it. I don't want anyone taking my mind. I want my mind for myself. If I do allow someone to take my mind, it has to be voluntary. They can't. I don't want it to happen and me not be aware of it. Which, when I was in America, I totally got carried away, and didn't even realize I was carried away until I got some different perspectives on it. So that's the 12th house experience, and that's when Pluto was in Capricorn. It's a long explanation. It's the 12th house, but prior to Pluto moving into Capricorn, Pluto was in Sagittarius, because yeah, it was in Sagittarius. And I don't really remember what was going on in the world during that time period, but and I'm estimating, because I don't know the exact time frame of how that transit happened. But all the way through my 20s and even my teen years, it went on. Uh, and Sagittarius is about understanding the world on a grand scale. It's about higher education. It's about religion, philosophy, and just kind of making your story, and writing your story, understanding your story, and really breaking it down for all the truths, and understanding the whole big picture of everything. And it's about being really fired up while you do it, and having that zest for life. So again, I don't know what was going on in the world, but in my life, for me, that was in my 11th house. And I guess I illustrate like how the 11th house works by telling you some of my experience. I won't go in depth like I did with the 12th house, because it was kind of long ago. But this happened during my teen years, to my throughout my 20s. And I'm guessing that it started when I was in high school. That's when I remember having a big shift. I don't remember exactly when it started. I don't know if it was 15 or if it was 20 years, but I'm guessing it may have started around the time when I was in high school, because that's when I had like just a huge shift in my thinking, my mind. Because at the time, I was a knucklehead. I and it wasn't. I didn't want to be a knucklehead. It just seemed like the way to go because my environment it influenced me, and I just you just have to embrace what you have. It's hard to be good or be smart or be great when your environment isn't that. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's easier just to go along with it and keep peace and just and make jokes and laugh and have fun with what you have. So, anyways, during that time, there was a huge shift. I stopped caring about school pretty much. Like I went from being, like at one point, like throughout high school, I went from basic, I went from regular class to normal class, all the way down to basic class. Just stop caring, and I didn't really have the type of support that I needed, and I don't think it was intentional. It's just maybe you can't give what you don't have, I guess. And I remember there was this huge shift where I just really got motivated and suddenly said, "Hey, what the hell am I doing? I got a future. I'm gonna need my education. I'm gonna need to work hard." And I just really just something clicked in me to just I really got focused on um, physical fitness. I wanted to be as strong as I could be. I started thinking about my future. I started talking to a military recruiter. I started really, really trying hard in school. I by myself, I would take extra math classes on purpose because I wanted to get what I missed. I wanted to get what I missed. Something just came over me, and I immediately after high school, I joined the military immediately. Like a couple of weeks later, a year later, I'm in a foreign country. I'm in Japan, living that life, and it's really opened my eyes to what was out there and what the world was. And then that war happened, and just didn't see that coming. Got blindsided by that. I went to the military to do humanitarian stuff. I didn't go with the expectation to go to a war. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I'm I'm a pretty lost kid. I'm naive. I'm young and just stupid. So if I had to do that, make that decision again, I wouldn't do it again because that's not what I'm about. Anyways, got stuck in that ridiculous war. Wasn't humanitarian at all. We were just basically going in and being hitmen for thugs, pretty much. That's basically what we were doing. And when I came out, when I left, mentally screwed up, just wasn't myself. And in order to get my mental health together, I just had to just focus. And all I did was focus on boxing and focus on college. That's all I did, and it also working a job. So all my time's filled up. And whenever I didn't have time, I would probably do stupid things and like be in a situation where I get in trouble, and which I got in trouble immediately after getting out of the military because mine just wasn't together. Just it really did a number on my mind. So I really had to just keep things moving, keep things in front of me, so I wouldn't go and get in some bad influence situation or do something stupid and party excessively and all this stuff just to try to cover my mind up. I didn't want my mind. I didn't want to deal with my mind. I didn't want to deal with what was in my mind. And that happened all the way through to 2008. That's when the transit changed over. So that was my 11th house experience. And 11th house is about it's about your hopes, dreams, wishes. It's about reaching out, touching the world, having lots of friends, but not close friends. Lots of acquaintances and networking. I was in the military, meeting hundreds, thousands of people, 18, 19 years old, just out of high school, all different personalities from all over the United States. Um, I'm in Japan. Went to Japan. Have girlfriends there. Well, girlfriend there, and just lots of networking, just meeting person after person, hearing all of their stories, and just really being introduced to the world on a grand level, like right off the bat. And that was my 11th house experience. I don't know if that's exactly how, the 11th house coincides with everything, because I'm kind of remembering back and I don't really have everything laid out to illustrate. But that was the experience with the 11th house for me. So now the present upcoming transit where Pluto is going into Aquarius. So now I'm going to talk about the future, what what I expect for the world, and also what I expect for myself, because Pluto and Aquarius, you have it for the world, and then for you individually, depending on where Aquarius is on your birth chart, will tell you how it's going to trickle down and affect your life personally. But in order to understand this, we need to know what Aquarius represents. We've already talked about Pluto. Aquarius, it's more of the opposite of Capricorn in regards to where the power is concentrated. It's power to the people with Aquarius. So it's about people being who they are, and being proud of who they are, and being different. It being good to be different, and everyone respecting each other for being different. Aquarius is that type of thing. It represents eccentric people that are unique, and they're gives you the platform to be unique, to be the eccentric person. And also people care about the groups. More people, it's about unification. Also geniuses, and very smart people, and thinking about futuristic things, and technology, that type of thing. So that's what you're gonna expect to see transform and totally change when Pluto moves into Aquarius. And keep in mind, Pluto is, crises could very much happen. Crises and Pluto go hand in hand. So there could be some crises that blows everything open, and then we have to clean everything up, and it'll have an Aquarian effect on everyone. So my predictions on this is not even really a prediction, just my thoughts on it, just tying things together, because I don't think a prediction won't be good. But my expectations with this on a world level is that like, you already see people talking about the UFOs and all this stuff. Um, a lot of that stuff is gonna come to light, and we're gonna realize that it's not exactly what we think it is, and we're probably gonna find out that we've been lied to, and it's probably like a lot of cover-ups are probably gonna come to the surface. I think, because Pluto does that. Pluto blows stuff out of the dark and into the open, and the way the world is connected is gonna totally transform to where everyone knows what everyone's doing in other parts of the world. Like you're gonna know about all the indigenous cultures, and I think the indigenous cultures are gonna know about all the 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 rich cultures, or the cultures that are advanced and organized. I think the world's going to be a much smaller place. Something's going to happen that's going to transform the world and make it a lot smaller. And again, it's Aquarius, so it's not really, it's social, but it's not social. It's social in that it has lots of friends, but it's not close. It's not intimate social like that. And also with Aquarius in the transformation, I think a lot of geniuses are gonna come to light and pop up, and they're gonna transform what we know in a lot of ways, and some really unique inventions are gonna begin to pop up, and of course the artificial intelligence, and the computers, the technology, all that stuff is going to just get ridiculous. And it's, I think it's going to get out of control to something. It's going to evolve to something that it shouldn't evolve to. And I think that we're focused on the wrong type of technology anyway. I'd much rather have us focus on the technologies of the mind, because I feel that's where the true innovations need to be focused on. And once you fix those things, it'll trickle down out to everything else, to the outside technology. Because all the technology that we have, we're basically trying to imitate and copy biological things and things that already exist in nature. So why not just focus on that right from the beginning, and then everything else will trickle down and just happen naturally or organically, and easier, because you understand it from the inside out, not focusing on the outside to the end. So that's those are my predictions on Pluto transiting through Aquarius. Now, how this is going to affect me? Aquarius is the leader, the ruler of my first house. It's the first sign of my first house. Aquarius, then I have Pisces in my first house. So Aquarius is the first sign of my first house. So the way this is going to affect me, and first house is about your physical body. So I could very well have some huge physical changes, and that could be positive, that could be negative. And when I say positive, like I could get surgery, I could get cosmetic surgery or something like that. And even now, I have gotten surgery. For the past 2 years, I have been doing a surgical procedure. And basically, I've been fixing my teeth. I've been correcting my teeth with Invisalign and braces and stuff for the past 2 years. And I'm still doing that right now. So, maybe that's the timing of that, me doing it now. And we're on the cusp of the Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius, and we're transitioning to my first house. So, that type of thing. So you could be getting surgery, plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, or something like this. Also, your personality. It could be a transformation in your personality. Because first house is personality. It's your physical body. It's you. It's you. Is your initiative. How you assert yourself. So my predictions on myself, even some things I'm feeling now, because we're getting so close to it. For example, I noticed that I have a lot more inner drive for things. I'm really really passionate, a deep passion for things, and it has just come recently. Like for example, the past 6 months, I wake up 5:30 and I run 8 miles. I've been consistent with that for the past 6 months, and the more and more I want to do it, and I'm really passionate about it, and I try to beat my last time. I try to make it faster and faster and faster. So it's really competitive, and it's like I feel like I really have to take control of my body and my mind, especially as my age increases. So I have a deep sense of urgency on that. And also, what I've noticed within myself is that I'm I'm a lot more sensitive to a lot of things, and also I'm having lots of flashbacks about life and about things people have done to me, things I've done to people, and just like I keep person reviewing just random people all through life. Just a person will pop in my head from just all the way back out of nowhere, and I'll start reviewing this person and reviewing think about a situation. I'll review the situation, and that's 12th house too. 12th house is reviewing. You're reviewing things, and you're looking for self-limiting patterns, and you're trying to fix those things because you're rebooting for the new cycle, which is we're coming to the first house. First house is the new cycle, so it's gonna be transformation. So I had a transformation in the reboot process, and now there's a transformation in the process where we start initiating change and initiating progress and moving into the future. And again, lately I've been very, very sensitive to like a lot of. It's easier. It's easier to think about something, and it could get me emotionally triggered. And I cry a lot easier now. I could think about stuff, and it'll make me cry. And I get really inspired easily sometimes with things. Like if I like with those, if I hear someone had given a motivational speech about you have this amount of time in a day, and make the most of things. You only get this one moment, and I start want to tear up like right away, and it just makes me want to just get up and just bust a window out or something. And it's I noticed that happening a lot lately. Those types of feelings, and just like inside want to explode on things and situations, whether it be in a positive way where you make change, or whether it be like intense emotional release where I want to express myself in that powerful way, which that could be negative, it can be positive, but it's there. I could feel that bottled up energy there. So those are some of the changes that I felt. And also with the first house, and I don't think this applies to me. If you've been not taking care of your health for the longest, uh, you something may happen in your life. You may have a crisis where you're forced to start taking care of your health and focusing on that, and then you may have to completely change, transform everything. Um, let's say you get diabetes or something like this, and you have to completely change your life, exercise, and you may have to take you may be prescribed medication or whatever, or you have to move to a different location that's healthier, that type of thing. That's Plutonian first house influenced type of things. So as far as yeah, with myself, I think I'll be giving more initiative on talking about a lot of the things that I've been studying since I've been in the 12th house about the deep mind, the deep psychological mind, esoteric things, um, things that are outside our natural ability to comprehend. Um, I feel like I want to take more initiative and talk about these things, and really share my vision with the world on that. And I think I'll have a new energy with that. And I really want to move around in the world and really discover a lot of the world that I haven't discovered, and really connect with people and really transform myself in that way by touching as many people as I can, and really changing myself and transforming that way. That's what I expect, and that's what I would love to do as this cycle happens. This cycle goes on all the way to 2044, so this is going to be a long one. This one was about 14 years, but the the one coming, the one upcoming next year, it's going to be over 20 years. So it's going to be a long one. It's going to be really, really big, long lasting change. So I've just talked about the 11th house, the 12th house, and the first house. So now I'll just briefly run through the rest of the houses, the second house all the way to the 10th house, and tell you what. I'll give a really, very, really, really general spiel about how this will affect you and what you can expect from it. Because I can't go through all of the houses and go like I just did those three houses, because I don't, the experiences, they're too far away in my mind to make them to illustrate them well. So if Aquarius for you, it's the ruler of your second house when this happens. There's going to be a transformation in how you value yourself, um, money, resources, your views on money and resources, that type of thing. If it's in your if it's in your third house, Aquarius is in your third house, and Pluto is going through there, then it's going to affect how you talk to people, how you communicate. It's going to in the you moving around in environments, um, education, probably speaking up for a cause, getting more involved in the community, trying to help your community, that type of thing. Um, communication focused, and that's your third house, Gemini, Virgo type of stuff. And if it's in your fourth house is about home. It's about family. There'll be some huge transformation, or something's going to be purged, and something's going to be transformed and reborn in the home. Home could be a physical home. Home could be inside of your body. Also, fourth house is mental health. So there may be you have to deal with some stuff involved with mental health. You have to really get focused on taking care of your mental health if it's there. Um, fifth house is the way you show yourself and be proud of yourself. Your hobbies. You may children, something related to children, dating and romance. All those things that you find that are fun. That will be a transformational theme if it's fifth house for you. And then sixth house, Virgo energy here, fifth house Leo energy. Sixth house is your routines, your health routines, your work routines, the service that you provide to the world. That type of thing. So there'll be a transformation in that. So maybe new job, maybe new workout routine, maybe new health routine. Maybe you reaching out to a lot of people, helping, and it's like that, being like a savior type of person. And seventh house, political, diplomatic stuff, something related to that, maybe a transformation in that. Partnerships, whether it be business partnerships, one-on-one business partnerships, these are like really close relationships, and marriages, where your the bond between two people, really strong bonds between two people, those types of things, and keeping in harmony, keeping harmony and fairness in the world. Seventh house. And then eighth house, if eighth house, woo, that's probably going to be a tough one, because Pluto is a tough one, and the eighth house is a tough one. So eighth house is all those deep feelings that you keep suppressed. Pluto is also the suppression. So this is going to be big, I think, for someone if it's in your eighth house. It's also related to taxes, sex, inheritances. Like if someone dies, you get money, or you get money from somewhere that's not actually work. Cryptocurrency, which is also shared money, is not direct income, that type of thing, which is second house. And um, research, unlocking mysteries, also eighth house. And then the ninth house, spirituality. Think about Sagittarius, where you may travel, maybe you're under like a deep desire to travel. Re- Religion, unlocking religious mysteries, or finding out your religious roots or something like this, and expressing it. Maybe it's the authentic you. And higher education, transformation perhaps in higher education. And lastly, because we're at 10, we've already done 11, 12, and 1. 10 is reputation, your status in life and in society, how everyone sees you, and your influence on the world as a whole, your career. Those types of things will likely get some huge influence. So that's my video on Pluto transformations, the upcoming Pluto transformation in Aquarius. You know, I talked about the whole bigger picture of things so that you can understand this small tidbit here of the energy shift that we're about to get that's going to last for over 20 years. And you're going to see a part of your life totally just transform, and it's going to be unrecognizable. And it may start off as a crisis, but it'll end up being something that was just supposed to be anyway, and just a part of this whole great journey of us just traveling through space and time, and experiencing life and going and having this amazing experience with one another. So get prepared and get ready and put your seatbelt on, because like I just told you about my 12th house experience, it was a doozy. Everything, life is totally different now. Like I it's crazy how I started there and then now I'm here. Just would never have ever dreamed of it. So this is going to happen for you in your life, but probably not like my story. So anyways, I love you all. You take care of yourself, and you know, much love out there. I'm gone.